I want to ask you a question. If you're a mental health therapist or a coach who wants to build your business and to attract new clients in your business, do you ever think, I'm not good enough? I don't know enough yet. My thing, coaching program, course, isn't good enough. Or even more, do you believe that other coaches are more qualified than you are? And if you succeed, when you succeed, you believe that it's just pure luck. It's not because all the work that you've done, the studies, all the nights you spent working on your program. Well, if you struggle with these thoughts, the chances are that you struggle with the imposter syndrome. And I want to highlight the fact that imposter syndrome, it has nothing to do with insecurity. Okay. When we think about it, we might see similarities, but there's a subtle difference over there. So, the imposter syndrome is actually the feeling that you'll be found out if you're not working harder or longer than everyone else. You'll be found out that you feel that you are like a fraud, that you haven't put enough work in your program, in your courses, and you'll be found out that you're actually lying to your clients and to people out there. Whereas insecurity, and this is regardless of how much work you've put, regardless of your previous success, regardless of your qualifications, regardless of your skills, you can have all of them, but you still feel like, I'm not good enough, and I think I'll be found out because I don't think I've done enough for this. Okay? But then the insecurity part, it's a feeling that you are not enough. It's a general feeling that you are not good enough as you are, as a person, as a coach, as a therapist that you are. You're constantly questioning your skills and abilities. And there's a fun fact about both of them. The imposter syndrome, those who suffer from imposter syndrome, they tend to be successful. Even if you don't believe it at this point, even if you don't see it in the future that you can be successful because you struggle with the imposter syndrome, majority of people who are successful, they struggle heavily with imposter syndrome. Whereas those who struggle with insecurities tend to be less successful. Do you know why this happens? Well, it's here in front of us. It's because the imposter syndrome drives you forward because you have this constant desire for improvement. You think that you haven't done enough. Your coaching program is not good enough, and you're looking to tweak those little bits to add something more. You're looking to perfect your skills. You're looking to read more books. You're looking to connect with people from other areas to speak about it. Now, there is a problem about getting feedback, which I'll explain in a minute. But you are with the imposter syndrome because you feel I haven't done enough. You're constantly chasing improvement. Whereas your insecurity, your insecurities are holding you back because you don't believe that you have the skills and abilities, and you're afraid to take risks. You're constantly questioning yourself, and you think that I don't think I'm good enough for this, and I don't think I'll do it. I'll never be good enough to do it. Okay, so it's the subtle difference between imposter syndrome and insecurities. And if you want to put it a bit simple, the way I like to think about them, it's that the imposter syndrome, those who struggle with imposter syndrome, or to rephrase the imposter syndrome in these words, even if I think that I'm not good enough, even if I think that I don't have the skills, I'm gonna still trying. I'm gonna still working on improvement. Whereas insecurity feels like, what if? What if I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna fail? What if I'll never be good enough? What if I'm gonna put this course out there and no one's gonna buy it? I might as well not do it. Forget about it. I don't want to take the risk. Okay? Even if shows that you're willing to take the risk regardless of what's going to happen. What if you're questioning everything, all the possibilities that you have in front of you, and you decide not to do it because 30% of chances are that you might fail. Okay? That's the difference between the two. So with the imposter syndrome, there are other common symptoms or kind of thoughts that we might have. And I wanted to highlight them and put them in here for you to read them and see if you find yourself in this, if you had or if you have, if you struggle currently with these kind of thoughts. If you wish to, you can pause this video, you can write them down, you can put them in front of you on a paper, on your desk, whatever is your working place. And maybe there are points where you're trying to do some work, you want to create a video, you want to put yourself out there as a coach, you want to speak out loud about your offer, to make offers out there. And you catch one of these thoughts. The minute you see it on paper, you can recognize, hold on, this is my imposter syndrome, and I know that it is there for a reason, and I need to overcome it. And gives you a bit of strength to deal with it. So these are the common symptoms, are moments when people praise you, you feel that you won't live up to their expectations. So if you have achieved something in the past, if you say you've done a work with a client and that client was so happy, you changed their life, and you had other peers, other colleagues, maybe people from your family, members from your family, and they said, oh my God, I cannot believe your work is so good. And you think, yeah, I don't think it's my work. Maybe it was just too simple, too easy with that person. Kind of feels like that. Another one is you feel that your success is due to luck, like I said, despite your actual track record of achievements. In my work that I'm doing with athletes, majority of them struggle with this thought. They have big results like competing at European World Championships, big championships out there, being on the podium. And when I speak with them, they think maybe it was just because of the competition on that day, the format of the competition, or maybe it was just because I really had a good day, but I'm not sure I can do it again. In business, is the same. When we work with a client or we put an offer out there and someone accepts to buy it, you might think, yeah, well, maybe it was just a person. He just had a good day, and I don't think others will buy it. I don't think others will appreciate my work. Yeah. Another symptom is that you're afraid that others will discover how little you know. In this game that we're playing, we will forever feel like we know so little because our nature as entrepreneurs is to constantly develop ourselves, our skills. And the more we go out there to look for improvement, the more we discover how much more there is out there, and we feel like we know so little. Whereas those who have no interest in development, in growing, they feel like they know everything because they live in a box. And in that box where they live, there's only that information which they already know. But then they don't open their eyes to see how much more it is out there. And that's why for them, it feels like they know everything because have no curiosity to actually open their eyes and see that there's a universe more of information out there. And for us who open the eyes to see that there's this huge universe out there full of information, we feel like we never know enough. Another thought is that other people are more intelligent than you. Of course, there are people who will forever be ahead of us, but that doesn't mean that there are not people who are well behind us. Okay? Those people who are well ahead of us, maybe they've done work, maybe they had a system that helped them progress super faster. Comparing us with those ahead of us or those with behind of us can have its own benefits if we look at it from a learning perspective. If we look at those ahead of us, where they are now, where they started from, where are they at now, what is their journey that helped them get where they are now, and what we can learn from them. If we compare that, well, you are there and I'm here and I will never get there, then it's going to affect your mindset, your mental state. But if you look at them and we learn from what they had to do to get out there and to start for us to see if we can do the same things, if they can apply in our business, in our life, then we can take it as lessons and take it as a blueprint to apply it in our business, in our life, to help us grow. Another thought is, like, in business or in personal life, or if your business wants to grow, if you're like up for promotion. When I'm talking for promotion, it's like even with your coaching, your coaching business, you start small, but then you want to promote yourself to include more people or to expand the what you're doing with the work that you do with your clients. But you're not telling anyone that, do you know what, this is gonna happen, or do you know what, I spoke with this partner and I think we're gonna get this big thing, just in case that people that your promotion depends on will change their mind. Okay, so you're not talking about what could happen until it is done in that moment. And then you feel you need to work harder than others to prove your work. Even though you have the same results, even though you have, you're working with clients, they have results, you think that you constantly have to prove yourself because it is not enough and people will not trust you. Another thought is that you always have, this is not a thought, but it feels like you always need a backup plan ready just in case people will discover that you're a fraud, that you believe that you are, not that you actually are a fraud, but you believe that you are a fraud. And just in case people will discover that I'm not qualified enough, I don't have enough experience, my skills are not good enough, what am I going to do then? And this happens usually when we want to post content on social media, when we are going for sales, like if we're holding workshops and we want to talk about the offer and invite people in our community, in our system, in our groups, and they start asking questions about, well, what is your experience? What have you achieved until now? We feel like, whoa, 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 this is a dangerous place. I think that they're trying to catch me in here. And you kind of have a backup plan. Well, I'm going to speak about these things, or I'm going to stop making an offer. Yeah. And then the last one, I mean, not the last one, but there are many other out there. Another one is like you seek external validation. You look for that external validation all the time, but when you receive it, you don't believe it. You're doing such a great work, you're having results, and then you still look for validation. Have I done enough? You're looking for testimonials, for opinions or feedback from your colleagues, from peers, from coach, mentors. But then when you receive this, you don't actually believe it. Deep down inside, you don't believe that is true. You have the yes, but. So, like I said, I recommend you write these down on a piece of paper and try to spot them when they pop in your mind. And acknowledge that, hold on, this is my imposter syndrome playing tricks on my mind right now. I know it's not true and I need to overcome this. Okay? So, now that we know a little bit more about the imposter syndrome, what is it, how it's affecting us, how can we actually overcome the imposter syndrome? What is it that we can do about it? And the first step, always the best thing to do is to speak about it with people close to you or people who can understand you. Getting feedback from mums and nans is not valid. Okay? When you speak about your fears, your thoughts, how the imposter syndrome might affect you, try to speak with people who are maybe in a similar niche, who are working around business. If you have a mentor, a support, or friends who know about your business, the things that you're doing about your business, who know you, people who know details or can understand details, right? If you're asking again, your mom, your nan, some friend who's in a total different niche and has nothing to do with the business, if you're asking them for feedback, it doesn't apply. One, because it is not valid. They can't really give you a realistic feedback. And second, your subconscious mind will never believe this feedback because your subconscious mind knows that these people are not experienced people enough to give you a realistic feedback. Okay? And for this exercise that we're going now through this challenge, you have the opportunity to speak with us or write about your fears and get feedback here in the community. And I encourage all of you to write as much as comfortable for you about your fears and how the imposter syndrome affects you. And I'll give you in writing feedback, or if necessary, I can create another live workshop where we're going through all this so you can receive the feedback that you need and know exactly what you need to do to move forward with this. Now, the next step is for you to identify your current and future skills, accomplishments, and experience. Look at where you are at now, what skills you have currently, what accomplishments you have, and experience, and analyze them. See if they match with your beliefs. Put them on the paper and see how you feel about it. And then, of course, the next step will be to identify the future skills, accomplishments, and experiences that you need to achieve your goals, the future version of you, where you want to take your business to. What are the skills and accomplishments that you need to have in order to achieve those goals? And then the final step is for you to analyze your current work habits. Are you actually doing the things that are required for you to grow? Are you actually doing the work necessary for you to build the skills that will help you do such a great job with your clients and for them to get undeniable great results and for you to be undeniable good? Are you actually doing the work? I like to ask this question. Are you doing the work that helps you get to your goals, or are you doing the work around your goals? When it's around your goals is the work that we do to avoid the actual things that we have to do. And that's when we know that the imposter syndrome kicks in, because we're avoiding doing some work. So these are simple, practical steps that you need to take in order to overcome the imposter syndrome. And as a reminder, I would like you to maybe write this big on a piece of paper and keep it close to you, visible. Stop trying to be someone else. Yes, there are successful coaches out there that we need to look at and learn from to see what they have done to achieve this success. But don't copy them. Apply those things in your business and do those things in your own way. Be your own self. Take your skills and use them. Look at what is your superpower, that one thing that defines you, that one thing that's specific to you, and be your authentic self.